Because I tell you what I don't like doing. Trying to function in a day where I only have 4 hours of sleep. Sometimes I even get 8 hours of sleep and my alarm goes off and I'm like, nah, it ain't that. It's not time yet.
Yeah.
Why am I still sleepy? I need more rest than 8 hours. What the hell is going on? That's probably the only time I could be fluent in Spanish is when I'm drunk and high.
Now I go to the grocery store, I gotta take a nap. I'm paying to live here. I need to be here.
Right. If I gotta yell
Yeah.
for you to hear me or come in close and whisper in your ear in order for you to hear me, I don't want to be there. I used to love being outside when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be outside. And I'm learning that this is a common occurrence to a lot of my friends who are up there in my age.
Yeah.
That all we want to do is sit inside the house.
Yeah.
So you know me, I had to be like, well, why is that? Why is it that we want to sit inside the house the older we get?
Mm-hmm.
And ladies and gentlemen, I got some answers for you. I went to my favorite site, vice.com. And the name of the article is, I don't feel like partying anymore. Am I depressed or just getting old? By Jalisa Pringles. By Miss Pringles.
Now, are we 100% sure about that?
What?
The name.
No, that's absolutely the name.
Okay.
It's Miss Pringles. And then the first name, Dejan Lisa.
I think it's like Django where the D is silent.
Well, you can't be sure, but let's say Jan Lisa.
Jean Lisa, yeah.
Jean Lisa?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't hear no un. There's no un in there. Anyway.
Yeah.
So why people go out less as they get older?
Mhm.
One of the main reasons is changing priorities and responsibilities. As people age, their lives often become busier with work, family, and other commitments. The energy and free time available for going out, especially late at night, decreases.
Yeah.
Many find that staying out until the early hours is less appealing when weighed against early mornings, childcare, or simply needing the rest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of makes sense because I tell you what I don't like doing. Trying to function in a day where I only have 4 hours of sleep.
That part. Yeah, I think as you get older, you start to prioritize rest.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, because when you're younger, you can still function and operate off little sleep. But as you get older, it becomes more and more difficult to do. And then as you get older, you have more and more responsibilities and things that you have to do. And you need more rest, like just to recharge. So the more I need to, that's less and less time I have for being in the streets.
Yeah. Look, let me tell you something. Sometimes I even get 8 hours of sleep and my alarm goes off and I'm like, nah, it ain't that. It's not time yet.
Yeah.
Why am I still sleepy? I need more rest than 8 hours. What the hell is going on? And yeah, we're a lot busier. Like when you're younger, you got a job maybe. You ain't got no real responsibilities. I
Right.
remember in college, me and my friend were drinking and getting high, watching Martin playing video games, having a grand old time. And we
That
had
sounds like fun.
that was our normal occurrence every Wednesday or Thursday night. I think this particular night was Wednesday night, but we had a Spanish paper due the next day.
Mhm.
Neither one of us had started working on it. It's
Oh,
2
boy.
o'clock in the morning. I'm about to go back to my dorm room. He's like, you gonna get up early and do the paper? I said, no, I'm gonna do the paper tonight. He's like,
Mhm.
what? He's like, you drunk and hot. I was like, yeah, I'll do the paper tonight and proof it in the morning, but I'm going to do the paper tonight because getting up in the morning and doing it then is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it took me about an hour, right, to write it. So I went to bed at 3, woke up around 7, 8 o'clock, proofed the paper, actually did really good considering I was drunk and high. That's probably the only time I could be fluent in Spanish is when I'm drunk and high. Went to the class. I think class started like 9:30 or 10. Went to the class with paper in hand. I looked over at him. He's haggard. Mind you, I've only had 5 hours of sleep just like him, right? I maybe had less sleep than he did because I stayed up to do this paper. He didn't do the paper.
Wow.
I said, man, you ain't do the paper? Nah, man, I couldn't get up this morning. I was like, yeah, I told you to do it last night.
Yeah.
I can't do that now.
Yeah, I remember being 18, 19 years old, working at the restaurant until late, and then going to a friend's house and partying until who knows what time, passing out, waking up at 6 a.m., driving home, take a shower, get dressed, and head to class.
Yeah.
And living that way and being completely fine. Now I go to the grocery store, I gotta take a nap.
Let me tell you something. On Friday, I normally go to the liquor store and the grocery store. It's gotten to the point now, because I do my cleaning on Friday too, that I'm like, I'm just going to have the groceries and the liquor delivered. I'll pay the extra fee because I'm exhausted.
Yeah. I've had a bunch of stuff delivered today because I was like, I don't have time to go out. I'm too tired to go out. And I don't want to leave the house. Another thing is, when you're young, particularly when you're like a teenager or in college or something like that, you still live at home, you're not paying rent, mortgage, things like that. When you get to our big age and you paying rent and mortgage, you like, I'm paying to live here. I need to be here.
Right. Right. I want to be in the place that I'm paying for.
Yes. I don't want to go out and spend money when I'm spending money to be here.
Right.
So I'm going to stay here, and y'all can come here and see me.
And not stay too long.
And not stay too long.
All right. Shifts in social preferences is also a reason why we don't want to be for the streets anymore. Older adults tend to become more selective about how and with whom they spend their time. Experiences and disappointments over the years may lead to higher standards for social interactions and less tolerance for superficiality or drama, even though I still love some drama. But
you love
not,
it.
But not when I'm in the drama.
It's your favorite thing.
Many people report becoming more introverted, preferring meaningful connections over large, noisy gatherings. Let me tell you something right now. If they playing loud music, I don't want to be there.
If I can't have a quiet conversation, I'm going home.
If I gotta yell for you to hear me, or come in close and whisper in your ear in order for you to hear me, I don't want to be there.
No.
And I love trap music. It could be a trap spot. I can listen to trap music at home.
Yeah. At home, in the comfort of my own home.
In a reasonable volume.
Yeah. I don't need it.
You know what else I don't like? Drunk people bumping into me, not saying excuse me, spilling stuff on me, messing up my shoes. I don't like none of that stuff.
You know what else I don't like? Especially being here in Atlanta, YNs.
Oh, yeah, well.
They're everywhere, and they make it so unbearable to live. And I'd rather just stay. Yes, I'm an auntie, and I would rather just stay in my home and not deal with all these kids out here.
There's a lot of kids out there. I can't go on U Street. You know, U Street used to be my spot.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day, last weekend. It was a big female brawl right outside on U Street. They fight. It was like 20, 30 girls. They fighting in the streets. They're not, I'm like, oh, I'm too old for all. This was fun when I was in my 20s. Maybe even a little bit in my early 30s. Now in my mid 40s, no, this is some nonsense. The tomfoolery. Where are y'all parents? Who raised y'all?
Yeah.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.